but there's evidence that the action of writing, the actual movement of your hands and the interaction between your hands and your brain engages different parts of your creative brain. So I would love it if you would do this exercise with an actual writing instrument. Just to give you an idea of what your word cloud might look like, here's the example out of Kristen's book. This was somebody who she did the exercise with. So you can see that they started off with really broad stuff. Mother, I'm a daughter, I'm a friend, I'm a sister, you know, I'm an introvert. And as she goes further down, she gets more and more into the individual types of things. So places or shows she likes and people she likes and hates cigarette smoke and, you know, that kind of stuff, tarot cards. And just, it's, as you sit and do the exercise, you think of more and more things. So basically, we're going to take 5 minutes to do the exercise. Kristen suggests you do 20, but I'm not going to make you sit through it for 20 minutes while we're on a presentation. So we'll do 5. If you want to go back and do it again and do 20 minutes, feel free. So it's basically a stream of consciousness exercise. If you get stuck, just read back over the list you've already got. It will probably give you more ideas. You'll be writing slower than you'll be thinking. So you should be able to come up with more ideas. If you do run out of ideas, I'm going to put up Kristen's words on the screen for the 5 minutes so that you can go back there and see what she's asked you to look for. And I will see you again at the end of 5 minutes, which starts, let me see if I can get this to work. Now. 1 minute to go. Alrighty, that's your 5 minutes done. So, how did you go? I tried to find mine, which I did years ago amongst all my old stuff, but it seems to have gone by the way of the dodo. Did you have more? There's probably some of you are really wishing that you'd watched the replay so you could have forwarded over that. But you really do need that information so that you can match it up to your potential audience. So we're going to just move on now. So put your list aside and we're going to have a closer look at them, your potential audience. So in the last session, I was talking about surveying your readers to find out more about them, but that was only something that you could do once you actually have some readers on your list. I'm just going to assume that since last week you haven't amassed thousands of followers. So this is something that you might try when you don't have sufficient readers to be able to survey them directly. This is the opposite of a you cloud. This is a them cloud. So you're going to take your list of subgenres and themes and tropes from last week, and we're going to ask what topics might interest people who read about each one of those. So when I did this exercise for myself, just basing it on my historical romances, this is what I came up with. So you might remember from last week, I do historical romance with adventure. I usually have strong female leads, and then I used a few tropes and themes of fish out of water, ugly duckling, friends to lovers, mental illness. So I went through those and said, what kinds of things would people who read those books want, be interested in? What might they like? So started off, I looked at historical romance. From that, I got history snippets and historical women. And then from strong female leads, I got women's jobs in history. And then I went over to contemporary strong female leads, historical wives, like Elizabeth Schuyler Hamilton or Martha Bernays, who was Sigmund Freud's wife, or Mileva Maric and Elsa Einstein, who were both Einstein's mistresses at different times. Then I kind of went over to the mental illness along with history, and I came up with Bedlam, which was a real and dreadful mental hospital in the Regency and Victorian times, and psychological history. And then I kind of just thought about history as an overall everything, and I thought history and women would be cosmetics maybe, or costumes, sympathetic male historical figures, unusual historical people, journeys, animals, both working and pets. And then I thought I could use images and photos from the time periods in my books, and maybe even actual books from the time. And then I crossed out photos because cameras hadn't been invented yet. So there was unlikely to be any photos from my particular time periods. All right, so then now it's your turn. We're going to do another 5 minutes. So if you've got your list of subgenres, tropes and themes, You're just kind of brainstorming what someone who reads those things might be interested in. It's not quite as intuitive as the uCloud, but just think laterally, put yourself in your reader's shoes, and I'll give you 5 minutes more to just scribble down what you can think of for those. I mean, the clunky noise you heard was me taking my headset off because I didn't want to sit here and breathe for 5 minutes because that would just be weird. So yeah, there'll be clunky noise, and then I'll put my headset back on towards the end. So yep, 5 minutes starting now.